For this session, I'm going to show you how to make a slipknot, where the journey begins. But first, I want to show you how to make one without using a crochet hook. So let's create a tension. So here is my yarn end. I'm going to make a tension like this. So this is how I make my tension. And then I'm going to hold my yarn end with my thumb and middle finger. And then the pointy finger is the one creating the tension, so we can have a nice straight working yarn here. I normally use my right hand to hold my crochet hook. So with the two fingers, I'm going to place them underneath the yarn. And from here, I'm going to use it to make a loop. So from north to south, I'm going to make a twist like this. By doing so, it creates a loop, as you can see here. So let's examine the yarn where the working yarn and the yarn end meets. As you can see, the working yarn is at the top and the yarn end is at the bottom. Okay, so here is the loop. So with your two fingers here, your thumb and middle finger were on the right hand, I'm going to insert them through the loop. Not underneath, not like this, but like this. So we're going to use our two fingers to grab the working yarn so we can create a loop. So grab the working yarn and pull it through the loop without making a twist. Okay, so we can pull the yarn end a little bit tighter to close it. So now the loop is secured with the slipknot. So this is a slipknot. And if you will take a closer look, the slipknot is actually our very first chain. And if you will examine the working yarn, it is able to pull in and out, back and forth with ease inside that loop. So this is how a loop should be when you are doing your crochet stitches. So we can pull the slipknot a little bit tighter because we don't normally make a stitch on the slipknot. So even if we tighten it up like this, we should be able to unravel the slipknot. So let's have a go. So with my yarn end here, I'm going to pull the working yarn out of that loop that we have just created earlier. As you can see, it should be able to go back to its original state. Now I want to show you how to make a slipknot using a crochet hook. So let's create a tension like what we did earlier. So here is my yarn end. I'm going to grab my crochet hook. I'm going to place it underneath my yarn here. And then from north to south, I'm going to make a twist. As you can see, the loop that we have just created here, if you examine the cross again, as you can see, the working yarn is at the top and then the yarn end is at the bottom. So we're going to hold this cross in place to keep our loop. And as you can see here, the crochet hook is on the right, the working yarn is on the left. I'm going to lean my crochet hook over the yarn, then underneath, And this state is what you call a yarn over. So I'm going to do it again. So here is our loop. I'm going to hold it in place. My crochet hook is on the right. My working yarn is on the left. I'm going to lean my crochet hook over the working yarn, then underneath, and we have just yarn over. And then the next step would be to pull the working yarn through the loop. Without making a twist, as you can see, if I pull the loop through, it's the same loop as we have created earlier. As you can see, the working yarn is able to move freely in and out, back and forth, through the loop that we have just created here. From here, we can pull the yarn end a little bit tighter, and then we can pull the working yarn a little bit tighter too, so that the next loop here, the loop that is in the hook, would be within the gauge of the crochet hook. So like so, if I take my crochet hook off that loop, we should be able to unravel the stitch. So this is how a slip knot looks like. So this is how to make a slip knot.